Most things are a waste of time. Most most apparatuses that people use are a waste of time. Most of the communication that's out there is a total waste of time. And what I've been trying to do over the span of these years is figure out how do I fit into the context of this apparatus. Oh God, there's someone coming. It never fails. It never fails. And I really personally believe that the person that just walked in wouldn't be here unless I was sitting here. The library just opened. Not saying that I want to be in a private space with only myself, but dealing with the context of this apparatus and how I fit into it is something that I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how I fit into this apparatus, how I've been put into this situation. And so you have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I think people should use those. Use Facebook, use Instagram, use Twitter, YouTube, use these things. There's no point in having your own website. There's no point. Because there are people that have already done the work. It's like taking a math class, like calculus, or learning a language. The work's been done, so you need to spend time learning how to use these things that have been created. So you don't need your own website. Use what's already out there. Dare I say copy what works. No, not even copy what works, just use what works. So I've been trying to identify how I fit into this completely bizarre world. It's very dark. The lighting is very dark. But I think that I personally believe that there are a lot of things out there that are wrong. My credit score went up 13 points. Amen, hallelujah. It's a great feeling. So I'm trying to work on my credit score, get it up to a reasonable place, establish myself. When I was in that city, nothing was getting done. Nothing positive was getting done. Back to the apparatus and trying to figure out how I fit into this. And so I'm trying to understand how I fit into this. I've said it before, nobody has explained anything to me. Nothing has been directly explained to me. And I think that that's wrong. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. I think that it's evil. Personally, that's what I believe. On a serious note, though, 32 years of my life on planet Earth, and no one's explained anything to me. There's been no explanation as to why I'm in the predicament that I'm in. And I'm looking over what has happened in social media. I shouldn't have been going to Arizona State, meeting all these international students. That shouldn't have happened. All the years of going through what I went through, it shouldn't have happened. Someone should have took responsibility on my life, because my life matters. Someone should have found some reason. Let me back this up a little bit. Somebody should have found some reason some purpose to inform me about the complexity of my life. Somebody should have informed me that writing with the left hand is probably not a good idea. So, going to Arizona State University and meeting these people that are not American. But even the sense of meeting people that are from different country, befriending them, getting to know them, knowing that they're from a different country, that's okay if the person that is the American is the ordinary one, is just a person going to school, a person that's, not situated with this whole apparatus, this whole contextual fabrication, this whole commercial, this whole wrongdoing, this whole historical terrible thing that's happened in this land. If I were someone that simply was going to the school that didn't have this title behind them and didn't know about it, it would have been normal, it would have been okay. So meeting all of these international students, meeting all of these people from all over the globe, these people coming into my life and sharing pictures, taking pictures, doing these things, promoting, making it a large commercial. And no one taking the responsibility to say, hey, yo, nope, there's not a living, breathing, single soul. Not a living, breathing, single soul has informed me of anything. Not a living, breathing, single soul. People that inhale and exhale, piss and shit, sleep, eat, speak. Not a living, breathing, single soul has said anything to me. Nothing. So people use clothing. People are using clothes, shoes, and socks, t-shirts, pantyhose. People are using noises and sounds, light bulbs and screws. People are using social media, which is a virtual communication. It's not direct. So there isn't anyone that I am responsible for or that I have any responsibility to. Because I was a child from 1 year old to 18. As law says or rule says, I was a child from 1 to 18. While I was a child from 1 to 18, whose responsibility was it to make sure that I was okay? Yes, you have a family, but you also have a state, a government, rules and laws. And there was not a living, breathing single soul. I was in the Clovis News Journal twice. And I was in the Clovis News Journal the first time for going to the courthouse and looking at the Ten Commandments. That was my public introduction. That was a public organization that has a paper that's distributed to a community. That was my introduction to the community. The back of my head at a courthouse looking at the Ten Commandments. That was my introduction. That was my introduction to the public. The second time I was in a Clovis News Journal was in elementary, and I was dancing at a dance-a-thon. The girl's name was Rebecca Montoya, and that was the back of her head. So, my introduction to the public was the Clovis News Journal. Those publications are sold. People subscribe to that newspaper. So when it comes to social media, virtual communication, that is not a fucking introduction. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can have a blue check mark. You can be verified. It's not an introduction to the motherfucking public. You can make a video, make it real good, send it out there. It's not an introduction to the public. Now, why is a newspaper different from social media? One, a newspaper, being put into a newspaper, requires other people to take your information that they've gathered and put into a publication and either sell it, promote it, give it away, whatever. They put their name to it. Social media, it's your name, and you're doing the work for yourself. So there's a difference. So what this U.S. American government, whatever you want to call it, whatever you wish to be called, have literally relied on information and tools that are not sufficient enough to make a public announcement or appearance or recognition. And it's obvious that it's not the case because I am still in this position with no information. You can make all the fancy words, the fancy language, blow up shit, you can do everything. It's not a defined word. It's not a defined language. There have been no journalists that have reached out to me. There have been no organizations that have reached out to me. No email, no contact, nothing. No direct messages. Not a single organization has come to me to get the scoop. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think you understand. You can tweet away. You can Facebook away, Instagram away, throw in the advert. You can do all that. Doesn't mean anything. It has no value. Even this video has no value. It means nothing. It's just a better way of communicating. How best can we use these virtual fake-ass tools to communicate? If you look at my Twitter right now, currently, I retweeted the Academy. It's my latest retweet. So what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I've been doing all these years? I'm a communicator. I'm the top communicator that's ever walked this earth. You can call me autistic. You can call me bipolar. You can call me everything in the motherfucking book. I am the #1 communicator walking on this planet. I live to be understood and to understand. Do you understand that? Do you get it? No, you don't. I live to be understood. I want it to be completely clear. I want it to be completely, absolutely clear. So when I began, it took a long time. It took a long time to get to this point. As I said, there's been not a single living, breathing person explain anything to me. You can talk about the Bible. You can talk about Jehovah. You can talk about Jesus Christ on the cross. You can talk about all the things. You can do it till your mouth is completely you can all day long. It doesn't mean anything. You can do the hair. You can do all of it. Jail. It doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. So what have I tried to do? When I became aware of this really terrible situation, and literally the tweet to Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, was like, that was like 2014, 2013. I don't know what year it was. It was something around there. That was an honest tweet. It was like, I should be an American Idol by now. I didn't even get it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what was happening. And then it kept going and going and going. I was like, wait a minute. This is not possible. This is not possible. This can't be. And so I left. I was in Chicago. People were coming in. These people normally would not be here. Normally, they would not be here. They're Asian, studying hard, but I'm sorry. One's wearing yellow. They wouldn't be here. But anyway, I'm going to focus. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. The lighting is bad. This is not the best lighting. If I had good lighting, it'd be a whole lot different. So I was in Chicago, then I went to Los Angeles. And then I went back to that city. And what I experienced that time around was completely different. I was still confused. Still trying to understand what was happening. We have visitors, but they're coming to study group. Study group. We love study groups. So I was in that city, still trying to figure out what is going on. And no one was explaining anything to me. It was like all indirect. It was all indirect communication. And so what I was doing all these years is piecing these things, because it's so hard to believe. The context of it is so hard to believe. Okay, now this person is like hand gestures and talking to the person outside the window. Her hair is up in a bun. She's going back inside. So it's like being imaged to death, These people normally would not be here unless I was here. So, all right. So I'm piecing these things together. Let me get back to what I was saying. It's like, how could this possibly be in any way insinuating me? It's not possible. Because if all these things were actually happening, if all these stories were going and going, someone, anybody, somebody could have said something. The people that were raising me in Clovis, New Mexico, those people didn't say a single word. Like I was supposed to understand. I'm supposed to understand from non-language, from non-words. I'm supposed to get it. No. Because humans develop to speak a language. So none of those people in that city of Clovis, New Mexico, said anything. There was not a single word being put in front of the Harry Potter movie. Still, that person didn't say anything about that insinuating my life. And as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, oh, there's some similarities. There's some similarities. And that's not me, though. That's not my story. That's not me. I think it's a great, it's a great story. It's not my story. It's not me. But for the person that set me in front of the TV to watch that, she was under a belief and an assumption that that was about me, or about my life, or my situation, or there was some parallel. I remember I was in the fifth or sixth grade at Cameo Elementary School, and the Harry Potter book was there. And I opened the Harry Potter book. I read the first page. I closed the book, and I put it back on the shelf. So, that's a true story. It's a very true story. I remember reading it. It's like, it's not an ordinary boy, or blah, 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 blah. He had glasses. I was like, so, and it wasn't because I felt like, I wasn't interested. I wasn't intrigued. It wasn't an intriguing thing. So I'm back to when I'm back in the city, trying to figure out what is happening and what is going on, because it's not possible. It's not possible that I can go all these years and nobody say anything. If it could, if any way, if it all in any way could be possible, it could be possible. How could it be humanly possible that not a living, breathing soul said anything? So what does that mean? It means that the communication's not happening. The meaning isn't there. The people aren't digesting it. They're not getting it. Because someone should have fucking said, I had a reason. I had a reason for not understanding and getting it for all these years. I was writing with the wrong hand. I didn't develop correctly, mentally, sexually. I had a reason. I had an excuse. What's your excuse? And that's what history will show. Now that I'm becoming aware, I have a responsibility. And that's what I'm trying to do. Because if I had known at 5 years old, bitch I would have been on top of it. I would have been on top of it from 5 years old up until now. I had no idea. I had no idea. None whatsoever. Asian. It's an Asian university. It's a black university. I'm at black university. So what I'm trying to say is, like, how could it be possible? How could it be humanly possible that not a single living, breathing soul said anything? And I want to go back to what I said earlier. No news journals, no journalists, nobody has come to me and said, let's get your scoop, let's get your story. You have an interesting story. Instead, what people have done is they've kind of like involved me without my permission. You know what I mean? Like you sign like a contract, like I agree to these terms. People have like taken my life and I have had no control over it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, the way that I work and the way that I personally believe things, it's like, oh no. All right. So we got media in U.S. America. How can I explain my situation to these people virtually? Because I can't physically sit these motherfuckers down and say, shut the fuck up and listen. I can't do that. I can't say, give me all your fucking money. I can't do that. I don't have the power. You know what I mean? So what can I do? As a person that has no power, no control, what can I do? And so I look at my life. But let's talk about the music. So the music was a private thing of mine. Well, I shared on social media, but thought I was only talking to the people that I'm friends with on Facebook. It's like, oh, this is a great way for me to like communicate, like share my thoughts, etc., etc., with my Facebook friends, the people that I'm friends with, not with the world. We've got an Asian girl in the room with the little headphones on. Okay, it's a Black university. So I have my music. I love music. I love it. You know, it's really important to me. You know, Celine Dion, Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, Mariah Carey. These people are really important to me. They helped me get through a very, very dark period. I had to believe in something, you know. But that was like Michael Jackson. That was a private thing, you know. It's like these people signed contracts and agreed to these terms, and so they were doing what they were doing. That was their package that was being sold to the consumer. So I'm doing this music thing, listening to music. Then I get to this city, and my whole body is like turned upside down, inside out, Diana Ross. And I'm trying to figure out like, but the first song that so my whole concept about that city was like making the band P. Diddy. I'm gonna go to NYNY and become a major recording artist, and that was my goal. And that's what's so disturbing. It's so disturbing about this life is that I thought the only place I could go to record in a studio was NYNY. All these places, Chicago, I was in Chicago, Milwaukee, I was in Arizona. So all these places, I was even studying music. I was singing, and I was, you know, and now there's Asian people in the background talking. So Asians are there. It's a Black university. So Asian people. Give a shout out to all the Asian people that are just as guilty, if not more. That's the thing with China. I'm just gonna say it. The Chinese people they're more guilty. They're more guilty than the Americans, because the Americans are just like, oh my god. But the Chinese people are more guilty than anyone. They're more guilty than anyone. That's why I can't really stand these Asian people. I don't really like Asian people. I'm just gonna put it out there. They're more guilty than anybody. The Chinese are more guilty than anybody. It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, back to what I was saying. So based off of what I was saying on like, oh my god, are they gonna fucking really just be having their fucking conversation? This is the kind of shit I can't fucking stand, you know? But I'm gonna deal with it. I'm taking on the fucking world for my own independence. At this point, I'm not trying to be a global icon. I'm not trying to be a global superstar, world renowned, known by everybody. That dream is past, because that's been taken away from me. My talent, my hard work, my abilities, it's been taken away from me. It's been taken away from me. But let's take it back. So I thought NYNY, I could go in there and become a recording star, a superstar. I thought I could be making the band. Which is so sad. It's so sad. It's very, very tragic. It's very, 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 very tragic. Because I was not. I don't care. I don't care. Asian people, Black. This is a Black university. So, this is Black university. This is my background. This is the backdrop to my life. There's always like an Asian person like somewhere. I don't know. It's like not where I was before this, but involving technology or computers. There's always like an Asian person somewhere. Okay. Focus. So I'm in the city, and I thought that was the city to go to become a superstar. To become a recording artist, making the band. True story. I was in Chicago, I was doing ballet, and it got to a point where it was like, you know what, people were getting weird. I didn't really know what was going on. I had no idea. And that's another thing that's so scary. I'm in this Chicago, battle in Chicago, and it's in the arts, it's in the media, it's in this world, it's in this context. The Lion King cast came and danced. Not a single motherfucking soul. These people are in the industry, and I'm in there trying to learn this choreography with them, and nobody said not a damn thing. Ballet Chicago, I was with them for a year. None of those people said a single word. None of them. No, not nobody. Nothing. I met a sitting president. I met a man that was a president of this country. I shook his hand. He said nothing. So why did September 11th happen? That's why September 11th happened. September 11th happened because nobody said a goddamn thing. That's why it happened. Nobody said a damn single word. Nobody. These people spending all this money, all this resources, putting all this shit together. Nobody said a damn thing. Not a single word, nothing. Nothing was, how is that possible? That is why September 11th happened. Asian Black University. That's why it happened. Because nobody said anything. So this is Black University.
Let me try to get a refund.
Nobody said anything.
There's a girl by herself in the room over there. Let's check her out. Yeah, let's check her out. She's in it.
Okay.
I'll try to get that refund.
Nobody said anything. So, this man, he said, "Into the night." This is 2013. I know this really well. So maybe J Lo was a little bit more before 2013. And J Lo was like 2012 or something. That shouldn't be American. That was 2012. It's 2019. But you know what? Renee DeContier, rest in peace. Celine Dion, Team Celine. This man did Into the Night. Janet Jackson did All Night. All Night, Don't Stop. All Night, Don't Stop, This Is Sick. Because it was, at that point, 2013, I was like, this is sick. You know? That was 2013. And I still had no, it was sick then. It was sick in 2013. What is it now? Now it's just outrageous. Now it's just like, okay. Okay, what am I? Okay. All right, so. All right. So this man, this is a true ass motherfucking story. This man did Into the Night. Went all the way to the top of the Empire State Building. This is a true motherfucking story. Went all the way to the top of the Empire State Building. This is the lesson. I'm sorry, this is the lesson. Take it or leave it. This is a lesson. This is a lesson. I walked up and down them motherfucking streets. For how many fucking years? I walked up and down them motherfucking streets. I was in jail. Did what I did. Walked the motherfucking streets. Never went to the top. Never. I walked the streets. Up and down. Back and forth. It's like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. Rode the little train. The little engine that could. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Mm-mm. So, in tonight, went up to the top. To the top of the building. And it was like, that's all I'm gonna say on that. That's it. I'm moving on. I'm moving on from that because we don't want drama. We don't want drama. We don't want drama. No more motherfucking drama, LaToya Jackson. No more drama. Just gonna say you went to the top of the building, like everybody else. You were feeling good, feeling the competition. Let me take my ass to the top of the building. That was 2013. Don't forget it. And it's 2019. And I never went to the top of that building. Ever. And I never, ever fucking will. And I have no desire to. Or that other building. I have no interest. Zero. Nada. None. Ever. Ever. This is a travesty. This is a travesty. I won't be inclined to behave in a manner that isn't suiting or isn't responsible. And you people have been irresponsible. So, to the top of the building, King Kong, not me, I'll walk the streets. So, walk. Sirens, noise, jail, whatever happened, you know. I can believe what you mean. I can understand what I can understand what I can believe what you say. But do you really know? Do you think you? There's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in that. Do you think you? But do you really know? No, you don't. You don't. You don't know. Thank you. This bitch walked on the stage. This bitch walked on the stage and said, if you can't feed your baby, then don't have a baby. Amazing. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Unbelievable. It's an unbelievable moment. I gotta watch that after this. I gotta put on the headphones and watch. It's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. Michael Jackson was there. Elizabeth Taylor was looking the other damn way. That's the people that get it. That's the people that fucking get it. Divas. Celine Dion. At the funeral. So rest in peace. Oh no. Oh no, you have it. Have it, love it, be it, do it. You know? Yes, you can. Yes, we can. This is Black University. I'm trying to blend in, I guess. So this is Black University. The lighting's bad. Thank you. Back to what I was saying. All the way to the top of the building. So I'm going top of the building. I was over it. I was over it a long time ago, but I knew I had to go back to that city because of what was happening in Los Angeles. So I was fighting for food stamps and cash assistance. I was fighting for this gymnastic job. I was fighting for potatoes. And then hearing the things from this man that happens to be the person that's my father. Hearing what he was saying and how he was behaving, I was like, I 100% agreed with him. 100% agreed. So I was like, and then seeing these, I was like, well, let me just go back and do what I gotta do. So that's what I did. Knowing damn well, it's like, I literally would have stayed in Arizona if Riley wasn't going to South Africa. So, and I met Connor. Connor was amazing. He had on yellow shorts. So anyway, did whatever that was, the hitchhiking, whatever. I was totally fucking crazy. Los Angeles was not happening. It was not suitable. It was not suitable, and there was not a suitable place for me at that time. There was the graduate student at USC. Like, that could have worked, but even it wasn't fitting. It was awkward. I met his mom. We hung out. It was not suitable. It's not suitable at all. It was not suitable at all. It's not a suitable life. Nothing was like adding up. So getting back, having not a clear understanding of things, not having a clear meaning of things, still not really having a clear understanding of my life, not at all. It took me 2 years of being homeless to kind of understand. And when I was understanding, I was thrown into jail. And I was thrown into jail like 4 times over like that 4 or 5 year period. So I was really bad. And I was heavily dependent upon virtual communication to try to figure out what the fuck was going on. I knew that I needed to go back. Not necessarily because I wanted to find out about my own self or who I was. Not necessarily because I was trying to pursue like a career or even that I was trying to pursue an understanding. I just knew I needed to go back and fight for that place. As crazy as that sounds. Fight for that terrible place. Because that place is really fucked up. That's a really fucked up place. Truly. So I started out with writing code with my right hand. And then I switched to Latin. I was doing Latin. Then I was doing French. And then I went to Goethe, the German. And the changes were... And I was surprised that Janet Jackson was releasing an album. I was like, oh my god, amazing. Finally. And then there was the whole Justin Bieber thing that carried on. And that went on for, 2 years? No, in that whole 2 years, this boy was recording this album. An album of crap. And then there was Mariah Carey. And there was Britney Spears. Just a load of crap. But just trying to figure out, because in 2012 I had the interview with Sony Music Entertainment, the informational interview. And at that point, I didn't really know what was happening. I just was so confused. I was so confused. I couldn't believe all this shit was happening. I could not believe it. you had like this person running for president. It's like, this person can't be president. I mean, this person can't be president. I'm sorry, this person can't be president. You can't have the first African American president, and have the first like Caucasian lady president, and the first African American president was born literally in Africa. So it's just like really tragic. And then you have the German consulate. I don't know when they came into the play again. I don't know how that happened. It's just it's totally crazy. It's totally, absolutely fucking ridiculous. The whole fucking thing is just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Totally. It's totally, absolutely ridiculous. So who's been made a fool of in all of this? Who's been made a fool of, you know? One year old to 18-year-old, I'm a child. And between that frame of 1 to 18, I was raised by someone that was working at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Wait a minute. I was raised by someone that was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And this person that was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken wasn't my mom. There was no relation. There's no blood. We don't share the same blood. So I was raised by someone that was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Is that normal? Is it normal for someone to raise someone else's kids that's working at KFC? No relation. So what's it in for that? What is that person getting out of it? What is that person getting out of it? What would keep that person invested in taking care of not one but 3 kids that are not her own, and she's working at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken? So we're talking 1 year old to 18. I was a child. And the responsibility to raise, I cannot raise my own self. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it? So people are talking about satellites orbiting the Earth, or rockets leaving the Earth's atmosphere, or people landing on the moon. Huh? People landing on the moon? Huh? Huh? That's more shit. That's like, what? Huh? It's like, wait a minute. Am I writing something on a piece of paper and someone's like looking at what I'm writing from a satellite that's orbiting the Earth? Is that possible? Wait a minute. That can't be possible. That's... She's eating her kimchi right now. Is that kimchi? Are you eating kimchi? Oh, okay. No, I don't want to know. Thank you, though. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. As I was saying, she's not eating kimchi. It's like, am I writing on a piece of paper? And people are seeing what I'm writing by viewing from a satellite that's orbiting the Earth's atmosphere. Wait a minute, girl. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, though. Then you have this. If this, I don't even know if it's real. I don't know if it's not there. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's if it's real, I don't know if satellites orbit the Earth. I don't know if rockets are being launched into the Earth. I don't know these things. I don't know this. I do know what I have experienced to kind of verify that these things are actually possible. It's actually possible. These things actually exist. It's even if you read the reports or you see it on TV or a video or whatever, it's still, you're not in it, you know? You're not a part of it, you know what I mean? Okay, so so you have like these satellites that can do these things apparently. The proof is hard. It's hard to digest. Conceptually, it's hard to digest. It's like, wait a minute. You people raised me. I was raised by someone working at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and this person's not even related to me. Okay, that's why I was fucked up writing with the wrong hand. Let's take it back. Because this is a horror story. This is a horror story. This is a horror film. You know what I'm talking about? This is a horror film. So the people that I'm seeing, going through their situations, dealing with, I feel for them. This is a horror film. This is a horror film. It is. It really, really is. And where I just was, hanging out there all those hours, it's a horror film. I feel for these people, though. I feel for myself. Alright, so, back to the satellites. I was like this experiment, essentially. Just abusing. My head is starting to hurt thinking about it. My head is literally starting to hurt thinking about this. How is this humanly even plausible? There's like there's no excuse. There's no explanation. And I find it so miraculous. It's miraculous. My credit score went up 13 points. Yes, bitch. Okay. But it's a horror story. It's a horror. It's a horror. This is a horror film. This is a horror film. It's a horror film. Oh my god, the light. Oh my god. Bring back the light. Can we get some light? So, I'm writing, and so I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to describe this. It's a horror film. I don't know how to describe it other than saying it's a horror film. This is a horror film. Okay. So satellites, the ability that these satellites have, not only, so earlier, I was like 6 minutes ago, I said that, I'm writing something on a piece of paper, and the satellite can see what I'm writing. But not only can the satellite see what I'm writing, there are types of frequencies that this apparatus can distinguish. Brain functions, primarily. But I think you can even know when, like, you're having, like, some kind of imbalance based off of, like, what your body is emitting or letting out. And so not only is it able to see what you're writing on a pen, a piece of paper, whatever, and see what your brain is doing. And so your brain, I guess, has certain functions that it emits when it's going through certain phases. But it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of dedication and coordination to sit there and just do this, monitor someone's, body from a satellite it's it's conceptually so difficult to believe. It's so conceptually difficult to believe that this is possible. That other human beings could do this to other human beings. And it's supposed to be okay. And then those human beings try to categorize me as something, or being something, a person that has nothing. So it's going beyond the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. It's far past that. It's much, much worse. It's much, much worse. It's much, much worse than that. It would be, I wouldn't say destroying the human race, but it would be hindering the human race from moving forward, from progressing. So, like in one of my earlier songs, I was like, progress must go forth. So I am that progress for the human race. Not saying the human race is going to go backwards or not exist if I'm not existing, but the human race is not going to go forward without me. So the song is like, progress must go forth. It is an alluding to the fact that I am the person that is to take humanity to its next level. And there are a lot of people who have a problem with that. So, and it was so interesting talking about that song that I wrote, and I did that. That was 2011. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I was also influenced by this figure that I had just been introduced to, which is like, it's miraculous. 1-year-old to 18-year-old, I was raised by someone working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. So that's the state of the world we're in. The state of the world, Janet Jackson. I was raised by someone that was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken that I wasn't related to. And then I'm supposed to like, I'm at Black University. And who's at Black University? It's Asian people. An abundant amount of Asian people. And an abundant amount of Asian people that are studying, that are in the libraries. This is not about Asian people, Black people being better, or Americans being inferior. This is about a problem that's facing people here. Girl. So, where the fuck was it? I was on the satellites. So, I don't really know how to connect. Like, I can't even grasp it. Conceptually, it's something that I can't physically, mentally establish. Okay, get out of my video. Thank you. A bunch of superstars here. It's Americans ain't studying. They're superstars. Get out of my video. Okay, thank you. Get out of my video. It's hard to grasp. It's not something that it's not something that can be comprehended. Why people lose their minds, why people go crazy, they end up in like mental institutions, etc., etc. You have people fucking with them. You have people fucking with them, literally. I haven't lost my mind. After everything that I've been through, all of the torture, I haven't lost my mind. And it's improving. My credit score went up 13 points, like I just said. haven't lost my mind. I don't take any medication. I don't smoke tobacco. I drink socially. This is not about Jesus Christ's crucifixion. This is not about the pyramids being built or not being built or who built them. This story is something that's never been told. This is a story that hasn't been written. And even as people are trying to write this story, people are trying to own this story, people are trying to be this story, this story has not been written, and it hasn't been told. No one can tell this story. It's not on an honest level. And no one's willing to. No one can. Because I don't have any person, living, breathing person, to make any agreements with or any arrangements with. Not at all. Zero, zilch. I was raised by someone that was working at KFC who wasn't related to. So what was in it for her? What did she believe that was in it for her? This is not about right or wrong. Well, obviously, we know who's wrong. This definitely isn't right. You can base it on religion and beliefs and culture and ideologies. You can all day long, but wrong has been done. And, for all those years, from 1 to 30, 20, I don't know when I started, when I was capable to understand the situation, I feel responsibility to do the best that I can to clarify. And the only thing that I have at my grasp as a person in poverty is the things that have been allowed to me. That's been superstar singers, etc., movies, films. I haven't had access to. I'm barely getting this education, this calculus, which I'm doing. So I've being introduced to it. And so when I was doing math in high school, it's geometry, but I was writing with the wrong hand. So I'm being introduced to these new concepts, new ideas that I've never run across before in my life. And so those things should have came a long time ago, and it's coming now. And I'm even yet still, I was dealing with a whole lot of interruptions with the classmates, the teacher. So having the ability to learn these concepts that were created over this period, it's been hard, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So from 1 to 18, writing with the wrong hand, being raised by someone working at the KFC, with the man that was picking cotton as a child, a whole generation, my mother and my father, what do you call that? What they've been able to accomplish. It's like taking back a whole fucking generation. A whole generation to picking cotton. So that's what these people, in their minds, they believe. In the minds of these people, I'm supposed to be a slave forever. I'm supposed to be a slave forever. And to these people, that's what's right. That I'm a slave. That's how their mind. That's what their mind is like. That's what their mind believes. There's no justification. There is no justification. There's none. There isn't any justification. None whatsoever. It doesn't matter how much noise is made. There's no justification for the things that have happened. None. If you're a slave, you know that you're a slave. Or you should know that you're a slave. If you're poor, you should know you're poor. If you have rights, you should know you have rights. It's a horror story. It's a horror story. It's a horror film. That's what it is. It's a horror story. It's a horror film. That's what it is. So, hand, brain, satellites. But it's kind of funny. I kind of feel like I'm having a hard time with the satellites still because when I'm thinking about it in my mind, I'm thinking about satellites and I'm thinking about the proximity. That's another, okay. So you have the proximity of like the person that's using the device to monitor the other person, the proximity of the two individuals, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where is that person located compared to where the other person's located? That's something I'm having a problem with. My mind. I'm also having a problem with the mechanics of how a sound is transferred. It's really, really, completely bizarre. So my mind's thinking about it. My brain's hurting, my brain is hurting, trying to actually understand, like, it's pure, absolute desperation. Pure, absolute desperation. That's the only thing that I can calculate. It's pure, absolute desperation. That's the only thing that I can calculate. It's desperation. Desperate. Totally. Yeah. Let's move on from that because that's just like so okay. Let's go back to the music. So that's what I was saying earlier. Like the things that have been in my grasp, that things that are in contextually in something that I can grasp and understand. I can't understand satellites. That's just like it blows my mind. It's unbelievable. It's totally unbelievable. It's just, and that's showing like the progress that humanity has made. That's been stolen from me because I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that history. People didn't get these technologies and devices on their fucking own. And so I've been literally robbed. I've been robbed all these years. They call me Robin Hood, but it's like, no. You people are the Robin Hoods. You people are the thieves. Giving it to everyone else. So which is so funny is like, you people have given everything to everyone else but me. So I'm not the Robin Hood, I'm not the thief. So, going back to the music, that's the one thing that I know that I can have an impact on myself and the people that have been involved in it. Even that is a hard concept to like understand, that I can go all these years listening to this music, to these people, thinking it has some meaning, a different meaning, and then learning that, oh, this is just something that's been robbed or been taken from, and then it just, my head is hurting. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Someday I'll be able to like finish it, but there's been so much that's been, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. There's nothing that's like right. I have a headache. I have a headache. I have a headache. I can't believe it. So, the Academy is retweeted on Twitter. Why are they retweeted on Twitter? Because I actually have the opportunity to be a part of that organization in the sense that I was able to gain access to see some of the films that were to be released. And I had a person that took me with him to go see those films. and I got to know that person. And so I kind of feel some obligation to that. Maybe these people were less inclined to. I just say it straightforward. Like, this man was like, you people. He's like, we're fucked. He's like, you're fucked. I'm fucked. We're fucked. And that was his opinion. And I think that was a pretty valid opinion. And so there wasn't anybody else sticking their neck out there. This man wasn't saying anything. This man wasn't explaining anything. He didn't physically tell me or explain anything to me. But I do feel like he stuck his neck out there. Maybe he's this old man. He didn't give a fuck. He did stick his neck out there. He did do that. There wasn't anybody else. There was nobody else doing that. And so after the whole, and with that, during the whole, after New York was, I said New York, NY was a catastrophe. It was worthless after my relationship with that person ended, whatever you want to call it. Everything else was foolish and silly and stupid and had no point, no validity. It was dumb. It was dumb and stupid. All of it, all those years after, even going back, just now going to jail all those times, it was stupid. It had no validity. It was pointless. It had no point. There was no point. There was no justification. It was just fucking stupid. It was absolutely fucking stupid. Going to the top of the building. You don't be mad at me, be mad at yourself. But it was all stupid. The only thing, literally, that was good about that city was going to the films, screening the films. That was awesome. Even the Ohiga Castle, that was awesome. Everything else was stupid. Everything else was worthless. It was worthless. Totally. Everything else is totally worthless. All the other is totally worthless. There was nothing good. There was nothing good. Not at all. And so that's why it's like, I feel an obligation to at least get my point across when it comes to like the music and the films. I haven't really been able to touch on the films because I'm not really watching films, but I'm heavily involved in the music, at least with a few people. But the whole election was. Then they threw me into the politics. They threw me into the politics. Just I gotta watch this. If you can't feed your baby, don't have a baby. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's crazy. It's crazy. Girl, I'm done.